Welcome to Alpha as Fly, where we break down but hopefully don't break early access games, and today we're looking at Boma Naraka Sura.
Boma Naraka Sura.
The product of Indonesian developer Anantarupa Studio, Boma Naraka Sura made just over its funding goal on Kickstarter in August of 2015. Prior to and after this, Anantarupa worked on a number of mobile and Facebook games, including augmented reality card games and tie-ins for a couple Indonesian bands, Ungu and Slank. I don't know what Slank Dongs means, but I can dig it. I think. Its story is heavily steeped in Southeast Asian legends and Hindu mythology. You play as Sveta, a girl who wakes up in a hell-like place called Naraka, the lowest of the 6 realms, and doesn't remember anything besides her name.
Hate this. I can't remember anything.
She makes a pact with the imprisoned Boma, who's actually the villain in most legends, but here helps Sveta fight her way out of Naraka and through the 6 lokas to recover her memories, while the souls of the monsters she kills give strength to Boma and by extension her. Wait, isn't Sveta a Slavic name? But it's the name of a character in a game about Southeast Asian myths and okay, I might be overthinking this. Before going any further, I should apologize for how late this video is, as the alpha came out about 8 months ago.
Oops.
It's obviously progressed since then, but there are still some things that might be gleaned from it gameplay-wise. Also, as you might notice, the alpha is only in Japanese. Good thing the Kickstarter has a demo with most of the same dialogue, so I can splice in those clips instead. The demo and the alpha are structured similarly, having the same intro, using some of the same art assets, and placing the same boss at/near the end, though the alpha changes up monster encounters and level structure among other things. The gameplay takes heavy inspiration from the Metroidvania style, specifically citing the Castlevania series as inspiration, though I find the game as a whole seems similar to another title, Muramasa the Demon Blade. Boma has hand-drawn art for the background and characters, like Muramasa, a main player character with amnesia, like Muramasa, fast-paced combo-based combat like Muramasa, collecting souls from defeated enemies in scripted encounters or just lying around levels, like Muramasa, and based on the Kickstarter page and updates, has weapon crafting like Muramasa, and cooking like Muramasa. Actually, like Vanillaware games as a whole, they seem to work food porn into almost all of them. I'm not saying Boma Naraka Sura is ripping off Muramasa the Demon Blade, just that they have a number of similarities, as they also have their differences. Boma's weapon crafting and cooking system doesn't appear to function the same, and Boma also has plans for things Muramasa doesn't have, like armor crafting, costume changes, and recruiting mythical beasts for special attacks. This one is tough to judge, as there's a lot that doesn't get shown in this build. For the alpha, the entire level is in one giant unbroken area, not split into sections like Muramasa or the Castlevania games, with some monsters, a boss fight, and a couple side paths that dead end into either absolutely nothing or enemy encounters. Souls can be found and coins can be picked up from defeated enemies, but neither can be used yet. There's one NPC in this level who, I'm guessing, is a merchant, but they can't be interacted with. Fortunately, the checkpoint and the health restoring fountain do work. From a control standpoint, even though I did perfectly fine with a keyboard and mouse, I hope the game eventually supports Xbox and PlayStation controllers instead of just Xbox controllers. I'm looking at you, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD. The dialogue scenes feel like they could use some extra expression for Sveta. As is, she looks the way I do when I'm stuck in rush hour traffic. Combat needs work. There's a key binding to dash to either side, which the game doesn't mention in its tutorial-style opening, but this doesn't function as a dodge. In some encounters, enemies could quite easily back Sveta into a wall and wear down her health. All she could do to escape was intentionally take damage by running through them. There are also some traps which I'm not sure how to get past without a dodge function. There's also a lack of knockback or hit stun on some enemies, so they continue moving toward or away from Sveta as she's wailing on them, making it harder to string together hits without taking damage or the enemy moving out of range. During the boss fight, the boss's name never left the bottom of the screen. I really hope that's not by design. After killing it, well, I guess not killing since they're already in hell. Well, after defeating an enemy, they drop coins, but they tend to disappear too quickly after dropping when I still had other monsters in the area to worry about. There's also no indication for when they'll disappear, as they just pop out of existence after a set time. Having some visual cue that they're about to go away would be helpful. As for the level itself, it feels a bit barren, even by Naraka standards. I don't know if it's that there are enemies and environment pieces not yet implemented, or the nature of Naraka itself, or maybe the camera being pulled back too far, or some combination of all of those factors, but it feels like there's something missing while running through the stage. And this is a minor thing, I'll admit, but it bugs me when walking or running sounds don't sync up with a character's movement. As for technical issues, there's a double jump command, but I couldn't use it until after defeating the boss. There was no prompt saying I gained the ability to do it, I could just do it. Whereas in the demo, I could do this from the start. Sometimes when hitting duck, it'll cause Feta to continue running forward. You can't stop a swinging pendulum with your face, Feta. Just ask Adrienne from Phantasmagoria how well that works. The biggest problem though came on my second playthrough. The boss didn't appear. After entering this area, a barrier closes on either side. So after a few minutes of jumping around trying to get the boss fight to start, I realized I was completely stuck and I had to exit and start over. I'm sure this has been addressed since, but it's worth mentioning just in case. While there's no concrete release date yet, Boma Naraka Sura is likely to release this year, and I'm curious to see what the finished product looks like. But until then, I'm just going to sit back and continue drooling over food from Vanillaware games.
Ah.